my parents, they tried everything to try and restore my eyesight. They went from one special doctor to another. They went from one nyanga to another, one profita to another, up until they finally decided, no. When the guys started smoking, I told my two brothers, hey man, if my dad comes, give me a shout. So they were busy playing football in the street.
Okay.
So they forgot about me. So my dad came and hit me on the shoulder.
Which one of your senses is heightened because of your blindness?
Hearing.
Okay. It's sharp.
Yes, hearing is very, for all blind people depend on hearing.
Because you spoke about touching furniture and knowing that this is where, so the sense of touch also plays a very important role.
I used to say seeing is believing, but touch is a gospel truth.
King David Studio Podcast.
I'm with a star today. If you've never met a star, you've just met one today. That the Babsy Mlangeni. Rewe le guy.
No, Nakarian is of the new school. They might not know us.
This
This is their era. We had our own era.
Yes, eh?
The good old days.
When you remember your era, what type of thoughts come to mind when you were at the height of your game? What kind of thoughts cross your mind about it? As you say, this is their era.
There's so many things. I mean, we had the apartheid, Kamona. It's so difficult, in fact, when you are a blind person. Because you see, those days, people used to see old people being escorted by kids standing in corners begging for money.
That's true.
Now, when we came out of school, around about 61, we were roaming around Soweto and all that, and we were at the age of Boma, 18, 19, 20, as it were.
Okay.
So the kids just didn't understand what kind of people we are. They would say Ritzamarobets because some of these guys didn't have eyes, actually.
Oh.
Some of them were born that way. Like I was born 1943, became blind 3 years later.
Oh, okay.
So it's just as well as like I was born blind. But I don't care anymore.
No. So they were even calling you names.
It was terrible. Before I went to school, when I was staying in Orlando, the kids used to call us Kiloch, Sometimes they would put objects on my way, then I'll stumble and fall over. And by chance, if I can catch one, I nearly used a strong word. Babona.
Yes.
And then the parents would then come home, my place, and come and give me a hiding.
Oh, no.
And then my mother would come from work, and I'll relate the story to her, and then she'll take me by my hand and asambe. So we go to that person who gave me a good hiding. Then my mother would say, "Look at this child. Mushebe mahlo, umbheke emehlweni. Lo mntana akaboni. Lo mntana kulo ubiza umntana okuliskilogo, ntotsena kaofela tseo." Yabona.
Yes.
So the mother would then turn to her children and start hitting her children like mad. So my mother said, "Leave her, but just tell them that what they are doing is not right." And eventually, after my parents, they tried everything to try and restore my eyesight. They went from one special doctor to another. They went from one nyanga to another, one profiter to another, up until they finally decided, no, because they then took me to the Eye Hospital in Rodiport West.
Yes.
It was called Margaret Bellinger. And from there, Father Blackwell then arranged that I must be taken to Cape Town at the Athlone School of the Blind.
Yeah, but there must have been some funding for all these initiatives.
Funding from where?
That's what I'm asking. How was it possible to do all these things?
What I'll tell you here and now, it's just very ironical, because it was the apartheid days. But I tell you, we would be taken from Johannesburg to Cape Town free of charge. To and fro.
And who was paying?
The government was paying for us. When we get to school, our clothes then will be taken. They'll take our suitcases and all that and put them safe and give us a uniform and afternoon clothes. So that school was well. It was well resourced.
Yes.
Because even our food was well. We had a dietitian that will come every Thursday. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I wonder these days, because when Bantu education was introduced, Verwoerd said, no, leave these kids to finish their studies here, but don't accept any black kid here, because this school is for coloreds. So then they started building more silo in Polokwane.
Yes.
Busile somewhere in.
Are these special schools?
Yes.
Yeah.
They started building blind schools in all of these provinces.
Got you.
Yeah, but the difference is these kids are paying school fees, and we didn't.
Because some of you, obviously, they knew they come from impoverished families.
In fact, most of them were from the extreme rural areas,
Yes.
It was then called Northern Transvaal.
Back in those days.
And then,
popular today.
Yes, and then you go to Eastern Cape, by Lalin, the deepest Lalin, and some of them would get to school barefooted,
Sure.
And sometimes there was this, this delela.
Yes.
This like it's not a corresponding.
Got you.
Yes, you find that you don't even know whether that delela was brown or it was black. It has been washed so many times.
Sure.
Yeah.
And
then when they get to school, so they didn't allow us to use our clothes because most of them were very impoverished. Personally, child and all that, and their parents were the poor of the poor.
Sure. But you still survived. I want to go back to the moment of what do they tell you is the story, how you got blind? What story has been told? Because you were too young to know it yourself, I guess.
I asked, but I never got an answer. But
okay.
Like you sleep and you wake up the following morning blind. That's it. So they like I told you, then they took me from one
doctor to another.
Yes.
And the challenges within the family with because you describe the challenges in the streets with other children, but surely it must have been a challenge also with the family because this is a new experience for them too.
Yes, I mean, I remember my mother telling me that some of my aunts, they would face straight and say, yabona wena, uletha umhlolo la kaMlangeni. Akuzange kwaba khona umuntu ongaboni la in this family. Kuyaqala. So you are actually a problem in this family.
Oh no.
You know. So the irony is, after a few years, this Mhlolo became Isibusiso. Because then I went to school. When I keep on coming back from school, so they saw that I was even brighter than their own children, because our school was not Bantu education.
Okay.
So South Afrikaans gepraat. Suiwer Afrikaans gepraat.
Kan hoor.
Yeah. So
Jeez.
yeah. So, and then later, when I got into the music industry, and successfully too, you know, then but I'm a tusino sebenzile.
Yes. Manje bayashintsha.
Yeah, my mother now was icon.
It's no longer Mhlolo.
No, it's not my Mhlolo till today.
Yes. That's amazing. And you say the schools in the primary school. Did you ever go to a school where you were with people who could see and so forth?
Yes, I tried. Yes, my grandmother took me that they would say to my other siblings, Hambanai. So we went to school, and then my grandmother explained to the teacher that what was my problem. So the teacher would then put me there right in front. But still I couldn't see anything.
Jeez.
Yeah, so later I refused to go to school.
Yeah.
Because these kids used to give me problems.
Children are
calling. They're very cruel if you don't know.
Kids are very cruel.
So
there are people who grew up with scars from those experiences.
And I would take this Tindia gallon, Kenya Blanca, like this.
Okay.
And then put a record or some wire.
Okay.
Sit on the stoop. Start composing and saying, Kumbuluma, Kumbuluma. Then my tears roll off my cheek like that. My grandmother then wrote to my mom and said, come and fetch your problem.
Hey, man.
I can't have this child crying.
Oh, you were not living no, mom.
No, I was in the farms at the Hakral. So my mother and father, they were working. So there was nothing like, there was not a crèche those days. Either Batung next doors, or they ask someone to look after you during the day.
And you are crying all day.
Yes.
That can't work for them.
So, and another thing, the railway was not far from our place. So the train when the train passes to, that's going to Joburg, the things became worse.
Why?
I wanted to go to Joburg to my mom and dad. This the Hakral was not my place. You see.
Yeah.
Then one day we were sleeping. Then I saw my dad coming in. I thought he was on holiday. And then Gabo 4, they woke me up. Vuka. Why? Vuka. Sabathetsi metsi ke a hlapisa mo I'm a beginning. Then after that, then we go to this horse cart, carriage.
Okay.
Is the horse cart?
It's a horse and cart.
Yeah, horse and cart. Yeah. Off we went. To the station. It was quite a stretch.
Do you know we forget or again agwakhale?
Yes.
That's why khonale kariki.
No, you could count the cars those days. So I was saying.
Sure.
My father, I was in the middle. The driver, whatever, of these horses was on the right. He was in the middle. My father was on the left hand side.
Okay.
No, it was wrong.
You
He was
were in
sitting
the
this side.
left, right. You were in the center.
Yeah, I was in the center, yes. And then we got to the station. After a few minutes, the train came in from Durban.
Yeah, man. Going to Johannesburg.
To Johannesburg.
Yeah.
Kanti, it was already arranged that from there I'm on transit.
To where?
To Cape Town.
Oh, this thing is already set.
Yes.
This big trip.
Yes.
Wow.
Because these other kids are attending school and I'm not. So my mother said, I can't go.
Jeez.
So I was then my father then took me to Cape Town. La endleleni kept on saying, but siyakhona. Yeah, uzothola amabhayisikili, uzothola all these nice things.
Jeez. So by now you're looking forward to it.
Very much so.
Yeah.
But when I got there, he said to me, ngiyeza khona manje. Gone. I waited and waited forever. And then one of these guys said, what's wrong with you? Your father will never come back.
So by this time, you're already at school.
Yes.
Yeah.
So these other young kids, they said to me, Andot, you belong here. And you must just give up.
Jeez.
And that is what I did.
How long were you there for without your dad coming back?
No, we would go, for instance, there's January, June, December. So you would go to school January.
Yeah.
For the whole 6 months, we'll be in Cape Town. Then June, for 3 weeks, we will be at home. Then again, from July to December.
You're there.
We are at school, yes. And there was a time that we didn't want to come home anymore.
Why? What was the reason?
It was nice to be with your kind of people. No one is calling you names. No one is treating you. No one is putting objects on your way, so you must stumble and fall over. We were just happy-go-lucky.
Amazing.
So...
what were the real benefits of the school for you when you look back to those days?
I always tell my kids that I'm so proud of these two people, my mom and my dad. Because if I didn't go to school, I wonder where would I have been. Really, where would I have been? I don't think I would have been where I am now.
Yeah.
And it's so refreshing to have that little education the government gave us.
It's interesting to think about it because it was, as you call it, and you highlighted very clearly, it was during the apartheid era.
Yes.
Where a black man did not matter at all.
No.
But there was still this opportunity, and this was a life-changing opportunity.
There are so many things that in the apartheid era that happened to disabled people. Like, for instance, Partco, we didn't pay.
Oh, yes, I remember that.
We could just get into a bus, that's it. As long as you've got your white stick, that's it. And we didn't pay for transport to back and forth from school to from home to school. From home to Cape Town, we didn't pay a cent.
Sure.
Yeah, but these days, in the new dispensation, these kids are paying, and unfortunately, some of these parents can't afford. So there are many children who are not at school right now as we speak. So there are going to be problems because these kids now have to depend on this grant and nothing else because these kids didn't go to school.
And your inability to see does not make all of you unable to do anything.
There are a lot of things that we can do. The only thing that I can't do, I can't drive.
That's it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's to me, it's a problem. Because sometimes when I don't want that David must know where am I going to? Lo check a mankai.
Ish. Somebody will always know where you're going.
There's a problem, man. I must always ask someone, and to take me to that chick there. Aye, man. I thought some out and later on. You know?
So you want to have your own independence.
Hey, man. Steve and I used to complain about that. Hey, man. We don't have any secrecy.
How can we be?
Aye.
Yeah,
I remember when I started, the guys started smoking. So I told my two brothers, hey, man, if my dad comes, give me a shout. So they were busy playing football in the street.
Okay.
So they forgot about me. So my dad came and hit me on the shoulder. Yes, old man. I get a script like this. Now I want to put it off, and it's burning my hands.
Because you couldn't see him come through.
Yes. Then that very day, Cabo 6 o'clock, he was from work. No, it was a Saturday. He called us. Mlung, Matasal, Babsy was on la. Hey, I said, oh, but now I'm in trouble.
Of course you are.
I'm in trouble because he caught me smoking. Then he said to the other two, hey, I found this youngster smoking. He thought that he's hiding himself. And yet I could see him.
He's the one that couldn't see me.
Yes, he's the one who couldn't see me.
Yeah.
So I went to him purposely and said, yes, old man.
Mdala man. And about Kawatile.
Yo. Then he said to them, listen, this child of mine is blind. So from today onwards, he can smoke because he can't hide himself.
There's nothing we can do.
Yes. And
were you old enough, though?
I was old enough.
Yeah.
Then he said, then the two of you can smoke. But you must never, ever smoke ganja.
Okay.
Never smoke dacha. Baga Mlangeni dacha yabahlanyisa. Yeah. So that was that.
Yes.
Fast forward. No, let me start here.
Okay.
Being at school, we used to arrange school concerts.
Oh, really? This is the Cape Town school?
Yes, Ethelon School for the Blind in Cape Town.
Yeah.
Any youngster that comes into their school, Ethelon, because there were a lot of instruments at school, so we make sure that you play at least one instrument.
Okay.
We'll force you to do it. So I chose a guitar.
Okay.
So so we then arrange concerts at the end of the year.
Okay.
December. Then we would then invite the girls and so on the whole day, and it would be So one day I went on stage. I was the last one on stage. I was actually closing the show.
Were you placed deliberately as the star?
I didn't even know that I was star then. They just put me at the end because I was helping these others, backing them and so on, playing guitar there and playing piano there and all that.
And all this is self-taught?
Yes.
You just learn by tinkering?
No, Pella, there are maestros in there at school there who are very good in whatever they are playing. Yes, because there were the trumpeters, there were saxophonists, there were guitarists, there were, because Neri blew even what do you call this penny whistle.
Got you. Yes, it was popular in those days.
Yeah, they called that genre was called a quella.
Quella, yes.
Yeah. So I get guys like Bolemi Mabaso and Spokes Mashian, those were the stars. So we were actually emanating them. So got on stage, and there was a song that I rehearsed especially for that concert by Little Richard. Oh, true fine mama.
Okay.
Yes. Yo. No, I brought the roof down.
You did.
I brought the roof down.
Amazing. Did you know going into that concert that you really do the song well?
I didn't.
Okay.
I just went there like any other school kid who's in the program.
Mm-hmm.
But that day, the girls were stamping their feet and shouting from the top of their voices.
God.
Hey, 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 hey. When I eventually came to the end of the song, Icona. I'm telling you.
You knew you got them.
I knew I've got them.
Yeah.
So I told myself, no, it means, man, there's something that I can do.
But was there something else that interested you before that moment?
No, there was nothing. In fact, I didn't even know how to mo. When I complete here, I only knew that I must, because I get there was this. We had a trade shop there. After certain what you call from school, you are then sent to the trade shop, where you are taught basketry, or taught with the metal, with the furniture, all this carpentry and all that. So that was not my field at all.
You didn't like it?
Not at all. My hands were too soft for hammers.
They still look soft even now. I like how shiny your nails are. They look better than mine.
I
see when your daughter is laughing. Is this delivery? This nail thing? I know. Yes, on the 24th.
Yeah, from my first granddaughter.
Oh, she gave you a manicure.
Yeah, I went to a certain place. I don't even know what it's called. What is it called?
In Botswarasha.
Hey, Munna. They put my feet into the water. They did all these things and what have you. I spent about an hour and a half there.
What is the Zulu phrase that says you knew how to give birth? Yes, but there it is. Wow, I can see your nails look way better than mine. I can see that. So even back then, you knew that your hands were too soft for this male labor.
No, I couldn't deal with the nails and hammers and whatever.
But other kids were interested in progressing in that space.
Yes, I mean we couldn't all be one thing.
Of course.
At least other kids had to go in a different direction.
That's true.
So, old Trufad Mama gave me a direction.
And you found interest.
Yes, good. No, man, there's something I can do about this.
Did anybody else do anything besides yourself about that moment? Like teachers who said, "Lentwana musikren."
No, I was told by my other schoolmates, Raymond, you belt it out. Yo! Especially the girls.
Hey.
Yeah. And I remember after that, I had the most beautiful girl in that school.
Oh, look at you. All because of that one moment.
It
changed your life forever.
Yeah. So we eventually, I went through trade shop. I learned all those things that every child must go through, or
even
student
though
must
you were
go
not
through.
interested.
Yeah, now we were forced to. Then 61, at the end of 61, I went home.
You were done now with school.
Yes.
What qualification do you have now? Is it considered the end of high school?
Yeah, you go to high school, but then you go to it's a JC.
Okay.
That's the end of it.
Yes.
When I came out, all these other guys went to Rodipur. There was a place called Mlangeni.
Okay.
It was an institution for school leavers.
All types of school leavers.
Yeah, for I'm talking about the blind school leavers.
Yes.
So they'll be taken there. Some of them are from the Free State, some of them all over. They would come to Roodepoort. So in Durban, they did also something like that. In PE, they also had something like that.
Wow.
You know. But to call Limpopo, so that's why they came here. Right,
You even say it with the right accent. Eh? No, jeez.
Yeah.
Jeez, what did you get interested in when you got to that school?
I didn't go.
You didn't?
No.
Okay.
There was a white guy who used to work at Albert Street. He was the guy who used to negotiate and arrange for us to go to that place.
Okay.
Because he was in the... What? I just forgot what they called that office.
Okay.
But if you didn't have a permit, they'll give you 75 hours.
Oh, those
ones. 72 hours out of Johannesburg.
Yes.
Because there was this... what were they called?
There was a different... If you were coming from outside Johannesburg, you had a different type of pass.
Yes.
That just gave you 24 hours or 48 hours permit to be in the city.
Yeah, there was something they call Tepa. All those guys that used to work in the mines, they must go to Tepa to go and get a permit.
Okay.
And all that. So what do they call this? Something reservation.
Okay.
So they wrote a letter to my place, and my brothers read it to me. You must go to Mlangeni. There's a work opportunity for you there. Not for me. I'm not going there.
Because you knew what they were doing there.
Yes, but at the time I didn't even know.
Oh, why were you not interested?
No, I didn't know. What I'm trying to say to you is I didn't know from here Kiakai.
Ah, that's the issue.
Yes.
Okay.
But I was determined not to go to Mlangeni.
But what was it about Mlangeni that made you so clear that you were not interested in it?
They were making this broom that they clean the platforms.
Okay.
And the streets so that thing.
Yes.
So they wanted to put me there.
So you can make brooms.
And that was hard labor. And at the end of the month you get 16 rand.
Awufuna ukuthola 16 rand. Or awufuna ukwenza umthanyelo.
Bangafuna umthanyela namamet. Hayi.
Jeez.
So I was then summoned to Albert Street. To this guy. And this white guy said, no, wat gaan met jou?
Je wil nie werk nie.
Jy wil nie werk nie. Sê nee, ek wil nie werk nie. Wat wil jy kry? Ek wil 'n kunstenaar wees.
Jeez, what is a kunstenaar again? Sounds more serious, like you work in an office.
No, a musician.
A musician. Look at my Afrikaans, it's so limited.
Kunstenaar. Hoe wil jy sal dit maak? Ek sal voorsien.
Yeah, kita bona kupi. Yes.
So they then said,
Jeez.
If you land into trouble, don't come to us.
Yeah.
I said, I can assure you, I'll never come back to you.
And you've never been back.
No.
But what happens? What is the next step then? Because it's not like there's an opportunity for kunstenaars waiting for you somewhere.
I had that thing in mind at Lona from Cape Town, Athlone. So because we had a problem, the youth of Soweto and all over, Karona, they just thought that blind people, there's nothing that they can achieve. If you are blind, that's it. You are only made to go and stand in corners and beg for cents. So there was a certain guy by the name of Hubert. He was my namesake, Babsy Hubert Nkosi. He was a magician. May his soul rest in peace.
Yes.
I was sitting with my guitar right in front of in my place, belting it out, singing rock and roll songs, bo Elvis Presley, bo
Jeez.
Cliff Richard, bo Little Richard, bo Pete Boone, bo Ray Charles.
Yeah.
And there's another thing that I forgot to tell you. What made me to be determined to go that way was that I heard that Ray Charles was blind.
Okay.
I heard that Stevie Wonder was blind.
Yeah.
So I said to myself, if these two guys can make it being blind, why can't I?
That's it. And you were already enjoying their music.
Sure. Seriously.
Yeah.
And this Babsy Nkosi,
The magician.
The magician, yeah. He was passing my place going down. Then he reversed his car and came in the yard. And Ibani Kamalako told him, oh, ngibona ukuthi umuntu ongaboni ukuthi yeah. Okay. He said, yazini, mina ngi-magician. Ngenza magic ey'kolweni.
Okay.
So it would be nice if ngakuthatha uze nekatari yakho wena uvule ishow yami laphaya then uyivale futhi.
Wow, look at that.
So I said, no, that would be fine. Wathi ngizokunika ipondo, which was a lot of money.
Of course.
A pound, it was
Yes.
a lot of money.
Yeah, no, you.
So
And we pondo your paper at that time, that small
Yeah.
one, the tiny little one. Yes.
So I remember the first school I went to was a high primary
Okay.
in Rockville, Tirisang.
Yeah.
I started the show. We're giving about Lucky Lips.
And he didn't even audition you. He had you while driving past.
Yes. I started singing songs for the kids there. I saw them enjoying what I was doing. Then he came on. Then I closed the show.
Yeah.
So it went on for a few weeks. I decided to go and rope in other two blind guys, Archie Khwadi and John Mtuping.
Were they also playing well enough for them?
Yeah,
to be
they're
featured?
very good musicians from school. So we same class.
Okay.
Narwala say same class. We completed the same year.
Okay.
So John is the son of Mr. Zef Mutuping, the president of PAC.
Uh-huh.
So we started performing as a group now. And this guy started underpaying us.
Oh, no.
So we had a meeting, say, my daughter, we can do things ourselves.
We don't need these.
Now we don't need
These
this.
magicians.
Aye. So we then started planning for this. How are we going to perform and all that? So we would start singing for the kids, and then somewhere along the way, these two guys will then read Braille.
Okay.
The other one will read English, and Archie will read English, John will read Afrikaans, or vice versa.
Okay.
Then I would then show them how do we darling, our watches work.
Oh, how do you tell the time? Like you just did
yes,
now.
how do I tell time? Yes.
So basically, introduce them into your world.
That's good. That's what that was my aim.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would tell them why are blind people carrying the white stick, and just tell them how do we do things, and tell them that actually there's no difference between you and us.
It's true.
The only problem is just that us born. And it really worked. Actually, it was like an awareness campaign.
Yes.
I took it from when they were, they thought that we can't do anything for ourselves. But we proved them wrong.
Yeah, in a big way.
So the teachers and the principals, they liked what we were doing. So that was, we started Boma 63, mind you. I think I was 20 years old.
Yo, that's a long, long time ago.
And we went from one school to another. Bo Orlando High, Bo Pinville, Bo Kai, Bo Matsike High, all the lower primaries and the high primaries and all those schools. There was not even one school that we didn't sing. That, and there was not even one school that we didn't go and sing for.
And I imagine people appreciated all of this.
Yo, the teachers were very, very happy. They were because we actually showing the kids, and I used to tell them that don't think that blindness is only for the chosen few. My mother didn't take a form and apply that she must get a blind child. You too, as you are sitting there, you can wake up tomorrow being blind, you know.
That's true.
So you must never think that you are immune. Never.
And you're special.
No, you're not special. And remember, you are using taxis every day. You are playing with stones in the streets. So many things can make you blind. So please, don't think that we are less important than you guys.
That's so true. Did you gain some form of popularity now that people are seeing you so much at different schools?
Yo, we were very famous. And there were those days, they used to run away.
Oh, hell.
Because they thought the blind people can't do anything. But when you started singing in schools, Baba, man.
Things changed.
Very much so.
Yeah. But you're not professional yet. You're not recording.
No,
you're just this basking band, eventually.
Basking, that's the word.
Yes.
We're basking.
Jeez.
But at the same time, educating the kids and adults about blind people or disabled people in general.
Do you think now, fast forward to 2024, that type of awareness is still very necessary even now?
Very much so.
Yeah.
Serious, it's still very necessary.
And
because they ask a lot of things. Happening. They're asking like they would ask. Let's say they ask Busi Siwe here, my daughter. My daughter would say, "Lemuntu lo uphume kamereni lakhe asagqokile."
Alright.
Hey.
Akamile no kami twadi la.
Ngiyakutshela wena. So they a lot of things they just don't understand.
Yeah.
Like someone said to me in my house, she said, you go, you don't even use a white stick. Why should I use a white stick in my house?
You know this house.
I know the corners of this house, but I'm dim.
And you know where things are placed.
Yes, I do.
Do you get frustrated by people moving things around?
Yes.
Describe that frustration for me. Like, so you'd rather have things placed exactly where they should be all the time.
Let me tell you what really frustrates me. I was telling Busi that this open plan that these days it's a problem.
Look at how she's laughing at
Yo,
It's too open.
hey, daughter,
You need walls.
but now you're just in the middle of nowhere. You don't know whether we are
In the dining room or in the kitchen.
it's a problem. Aye.
So Lama Townhouse.
Aye. These open plains, aye. So it's better if there is at least furniture, you know.
That divides the room.
Yeah, if there's a furniture, you know, oh, I couldn't finish. You go and touch that finish, you know, oh, now I'm going there.
Okay.
And when you touch this cupboard, you that, okay, this is the kitchen. Now, if there's nothing, there's a
It's
problem.
open
We
plan.
are in the wilderness.
You just walk through.
Aye. Aye, man.
TV, no.
Aye,
TV.
no, it's a
Even the
problem.
TVs are flat against the wall. Jeez.
It's a problem.
That's amazing.
So she said to me,
Yeah.
I think you must bring down these walls and make this house of yours open. Never. No, Busai.
No open plan for you. Jeez.
Open plan is a problem.
Which one of your senses is heightened because of your blindness?
Hearing.
Okay. It's sharp.
Yes, hearing is very, for all blind people depend on hearing. Yes.
And what are the benefits? How does it help you, that sense of hearing that's better?
Give you sense of direction.
Okay.
You know where you are. And when you approach an object, you can feel that, no, man, there's something in front of me. Then you just take a turn.
So you get a sense of it.
Yes. In fact, she can tell you, I used to direct them from here to Natal.
Hey, matot. Kanjani?
Ngitshela.
Uyazi kanjani?
I've been around, Pet. I traveled, the long and breadth of this country.
Yes.
So I know these places.
Yeah.
Now let's get back. Where were we?
No, I like where we are. I like where we are. And I'll tell you why I like where we are. Because, to achieve what you have achieved, it's easy for us to assume that you are like everyone and there are no challenges. You experience the world the same way as all of us, and you don't. Like now, open plan is a frustration. And to all of us, it's common. So that's why I stay here for a little bit to get how you navigate the world. How do you, on a daily basis, and you say you get out of the room ready. How do you know what you're wearing and what you want to wear, for example?
That's my secret, man, David.
That's the secret. Because umeshile fana.
Yeah, okay, I'm well.
Umeshisize. It's because umeshile perfectly. You are dressed way better than me.
I do these things myself.
Allow me to
I'll
ask.
tell you why.
Yes, please help us.
If we go to the shop to buy clothes, when you get home, Busi, what's the color of the shirt?
Okay.
She says it's brown. And the trouser, it's light brown. Take this shirt, this shirt, I put it in a hanger, put it there.
Yes.
So I know that there's a shirt that it will go with this trouser.
So they go together already.
Yes.
Gotcha.
I know all my suits. This one is a black one. That one, because the texture is not the same.
That's another. So
When you touch it, no, this one,
because you spoke about touching furniture and knowing that this is where. So the sense of touch also plays a very important role.
I used to say seeing is believing, but touch is a gospel truth.
I like that. So those who see, they can believe. Umar, you with your touch, you're even a higher level.
Let me give you an example.
Please.
Rona, we never say, hey, I'm funny, muntu.
No, you can't.
But Luna, hey, yazi le muntu ufana njengobusi kanjani. And yazi ngathi ngibona ubusi kanti abonanga ubusi. You saw someone looking like Busi.
Of course.
So with us, it just doesn't work.
It can't.
No. But once I would touch something, I know
Okay. So we easily can get deceived by what we see.
Your eyes, they actually deceive you. Take, for instance, a magician. He makes his tricks. You guys don't even see what he does the other side. you are being, but he'll never say, come and touch it. What am I doing?
Yes.
If he could come to me also to just touch her, I'll tell him, oh, this is how you do this thing. But he can deceive your eyes.
That's true.
By
the tricks,
magic.
Quick,
tricks,
yes, exactly.
That's why I say seeing is believing. but touch is the gospel truth.
Do you know, interesting, you use the word see. I saw this. And very often, and sometimes you correct yourself when you say that statement. But clearly you are able to experience these things almost similar to the way we do.
No, but there's a language. No, I see, said the blind man.
That's it.
Meaning I understand.
Yes. But there's earlier you said they walked in. I saw my dad walk in.
Yes.
And you see how the phrase "I see," and the reason I'm asking this question is because you're still seeing this experience. Am I correct?
It was in the language, Akar.
Yeah.
So in figure. Not literally.
Of course. Mlangeni.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I've heard you use that and correct yourself. You sometimes correct yourself.
Yeah,
yes.
But then that's the language.
That's the language. Do you think your career has inspired other people to get into music in particular?
I have inspired a lot of people. You see, in the early 60s, the genre that was famous then was Mqashiyo.
Okay.
Yabo ntombi zesimanje bo Mahlathini and
it's
Hotel Queens.
It's before even the Soul Brothers.
The Soul Brothers came after me. What do you mean?
Yeah, that's why I say it's before that era.
So because I was educated at the Cape, there we used to sing pop and soul.
Okay.
We used to listen to Wilson Pickett.
Okay.
That one.
About Brooke Benton, are they part of that?
Yes, they are all those people.
Mm-hmm.
So Sam and Dave. Yo.
Jeez. It's a very different era of soul, eh?
Yes. Some of them, they don't even know what I'm talking about. So there was this song. Oh, it's crying time again. You're gonna leave me. I can see the faraway look in your eyes. I can tell about the way you hold me, darling, yeah. But it won't be long before it's crying time.
I can hear it, eh? I know exactly where that era belongs in history.
That was Richard's song.
Yeah.
So I took my guitar and let's play the song over and over and over again. Up until I came up with, oh, Sala Emma, Kajeno Sekitsamaya, Piluaka Ibutlukimpa, it's fancy.
Whoa. That's one of your biggest songs, you know that, right?
Ever.
Yes.
It became a blockbuster in the true sense of the word.
Is it before you even walked into studio, when you started just getting this song
That was my first, it came from the first album that we recorded as All Rounders. Because I had a group called All Rounders.
And because I'm listening to even the way that song came about, it's similar to the way Mlangeni made his music.
No, Mlangeni came after me.
They all just followed suit.
Yeah, they came after me. He used to translate songs from
English, from soul.
To suit, yeah.
Bo, take time to know her.
Yeah, like see Mary. That song.
Kana, what was the English version of that? So I don't even know.
Something just by who, Kana? I just forgot that.
Yes.
So then I was followed by Mlangeni. Then Soul Brothers. Then Koromoraba, Petshang.
Lazarus Gaudi is somewhere in there.
He came in very, very, very later.
Steve Kekana is somewhere in there.
Steve came 11 years later.
Jeez. You were a pioneer. You were ahead of your time.
Yeah, but it's not documented.
Well, that's the whole point of doing this exercise.
It's not documented that I changed the whole scene.
When you got into the scene, what type of music was being done locally in particular?
It was Mkashio, Bomo, the Mautola Queensaker, Libo, what was it? Alexander, what was that group again?
I wouldn't even know.
I'll remember. S Dark City Sisters.
Okay, yes.
So that was that was the in thing.
The music was faster. It wasn't slow.
Yeah, it was fast. But then there was a group who used to sing "Rosie, my girl, Masita."
I know that song. Finally, there's a song I know.
Yeah. So then I said to the band, let's try this. So we did Sala Emma. We did other songs, Bodi Makatso, and so on. Then Sala Emma then
blew up. Yes.
And then many people started now following. Then I came up with a song, King Haurata Maka Hakanangwanesu Skamporka Bulela Mehuri Chelete Ile Inkuleki Wena Swabisa Satanangwanesu Buanetikia Kuba.
Wow.
That song was even stolen by Bo Yumasikela and Bo Kwangwa. They got a single in Botswana. They took it to America
with the same lyrics.
No, they then made it instrumental.
Okay.
And they call it "Shame the Devil."
Oh yes, same message, same story.
But I was not what you call. They didn't credit me.
Hey, God, nah.
They didn't credit me, and even when I learned about it, I got it from the newspaper. I don't know was it the World or the Post. I don't remember. And when I confronted them, it ended up nowhere.
Hey, that's so sad, eh?
And that song was also big in its own way.
Your version.
It was my composition.
Yes,
yeah, yes. It belongs to me. So they actually robbed my kids.
Yeah. Or something like that. That's also a big song. Is it one of your early songs?
No, I think it's 78.
Like you say 78 like it was last week. How old was I? 70. I was 3 years old. You make it sound like it was no.
Busi was 8 years old. Now, so I had the it was like we were in Lesotho. So there was a guy, but his name was Ntapo.
Yeah.
So they used to call him his clan name, Skeket.
Right.
So we had a place there called Maputo. So when I got there, he then called me and said, Clover, I'll give you this room for you. I don't want you must go up the steps and all that.
Okay.
I'll give you here. And on the floor, on the ground floor.
The ground floor, yeah.
Yes. So we had that show. It was packed to capacity.
This is with your band?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey. And then the following day, yes. I was still sleeping, but these girls were queuing on my door here.
Yeah, but now they want to meet the star.
Yes. So they told me that, there are people waiting for you here. I watched and
Well, like.
Bakena, ban suna.
And that's how the song came about.
Not.
That's how the song came about.
Yes.
That's another one of your hits. You know that, right?
It is. In fact, what I can tell you, in all the shows that I've, even today, Sala M, it's Askeget. People say, bye, Batla.
Yeah.
They still demand.
You can't do a show without them.
Sure.
The people will take it personal.
Yeah, you see, if Busi was not here, I would have told you what used to happen.
Busi warakawata. No, don't go anywhere. But how do you get your first record deal with this new style of music that you're creating?
It was a problem because I went to there's EMI. The talent scout there was Pupape.
Okay.
But he was a gatekeeper.
There's always one.
Yeah, so it was good for the company. You wouldn't go to the bosses without passing him.
Yeah.
So I went to him and said, I've come to try and get a deal, a recording deal. Oh. He said, Marabone mos. Kriya sa kibon. Arutlabina juang usabon.
How do you respond to that?
I said, Usukila abona kai mahlwabina we.
Mahlwabini mos. Wow.
So
does he eventually open the gate, this gatekeeper?
It did open it. We tried a certain song. It was composed by me. It didn't go anywhere because he didn't want to promote it because in all the songs that Mahlatini did, he had a slice.
Okay.
In
the composition?
Yes.
Eban.
The Dark City Sisters. He would say his name must also be there. A certain percentage must come to him.
But he wasn't a musician?
No, he was not. That thing went on for a very long time. And not only him, it's not only Bupapa who did that. A lot of these producers did that.
And their job was just to get you in, organize, and sit back and watch you work.
They call themselves producers. Besides next. I come in with my song, it's complete. He comes and listens to what you're playing. They say, yeah, this is good. From there we record and then he puts his name produced. He did nothing.
Yes, that carried on for long. I'm sure it still happens even now.
Yes, it does.
That's crazy. And they get some of the revenue from the song being played.
Sure.
Even rights to the songs.
Yes. In some instances, let's say they come a group. There's this tap and clap kind of groups, you know.
Yes.
Then this guy, he's the, I don't know what should I say, he's the owner of the group, or he's financing the group.
Okay.
And he's also the lead singer. When we got there, and I said to the producer, I said to the engineer, Eamon, Mutona Watlaila.
I can't sing.
I can't sing.
But he's the owner of the group. Or he's financing it.
Yes. Jeez. Now here goes Babsy Mlangeni and says, Eamon, there's someone I heard here in this group who sings very good. How's about taking this one, let him lead this choir? There's trouble.
Are you referring to the one who can't sing?
Yes. There's trouble. You would then say, it's either or not. It's either me or not.
Oh, no.
And then sometimes you find a person comes a group and he says he's a producer. Okay. We produce the song with the engineer. He's sitting next to us here. We do all the job.
Just sitting.
He's just sitting here and talking a lot.
Agreeing and disagree.
Yeah. And then he would say, "Ay man, ikaro ka push up bass nyana, make it just a bit louder." Then I would just touch the button and
Not do anything.
Not do anything. Is it right? He says, yeah.
You did nothing, but he agrees.
Yes.
and also get credit.
He does. It's his group. So we do the job for him. Then he'll tell the people, yeah, keep producing.
Industrial music has always had it clever. Clever lady bar.
Yeah, usual.
It's always been like that. And it looks like it hasn't changed.
It's like
forever.
You find an artist comes with a hit. Sharper with a blockbuster. And then all of a sudden, in that 3 months' time, when that artist is being interviewed, yeah, and and I say, I've got my own label now. He doesn't know, or she doesn't know anything about this industry. Mar osana label. This thing, it's not a play thing, this thing.
No, it's not.
You should know your ways around.
And a lot of people don't. And it has a lot to do with the contracts also that are signed by artists in the beginning.
There are a lot of things that they don't know. They found out when they are deep into credits. Because I mean, now I helped a lot of them who didn't know anything about Samro. I would take them with my own money, take a taxi, whatever, take them to Brandfontein.
Yes.
And go and show them where Samro is and what Samro is all about.
It's a complicated industry, though. You have to agree. There are too many, but the rights, creative rights and what. And the singer did not write the song, so they get nothing here and they get something there. It's a complicated maze. And I think it's deliberately complicated so others won't get it. So wakono rope you are easy.
No, but people who started robbing us, are the owners of the companies. Imagine we're a group of, say, 8.
Yeah.
They give us 3%.
Eban.
They take 97.
97. How does that even make sense?
You know?
And yet the song is yours. Everything about
yes.
the song is yours.
There was a time when, as a group, they gave us 5%.
That's an improvement.
We couldn't query then. But later on, when we were in the middle of everything, we started querying. Is this, we're not taking this all.
Sure. Was there ever a time where you completely protested that you did not even create any music as a sign of protest?
I protested a lot. I was telling Busin that there were many times when I got out of the studio, furious.
Because give us one example.
There's this guy, I was recording Music Was Born in Africa. So they've got the lyrics on the other side, the control room.
Okay.
Now I'm on the other side of the booth. I must cram the lyrics.
Yes.
So I took a bit long, you know. Then this guy got irritated. Then he started using some harsh words. There and there, I went out of the studio. Shut the door. Let's go home, guys.
I'm not doing this.
It became a big thing. I was taken to the MD, and I told the MD, no, this guy, no, he doesn't treat me. He forgets that I'm a blind person. You know, I can read. I can't. If it was Braille, yes, I would have done it. But I couldn't because...
you can't see the words.
That's right.
Jeez.
Then the MD said, no, Babs, okay. Leave it up to me. I'll talk to him. Those days, the apartheid, they'll never talk to you when I'm being black and then try and what's this word? Trying to correct the other white bloke that here he was wrong.
Okay, yes.
They'll never do that.
Yeah.
They rather say, you go out.
Let's talk to him alone.
Yes.
So it's not a reconciliation meeting, this. They will correct you individually.
Yes.
Yeah. Let's talk about Sala Emma as the song that is one of your biggest hits. And now we really the reference has to do with the monies that artists deserve. Because money, as you said earlier, benefits the family forever. It
Yes.
benefits the kids forever, particularly in the music industry. Songs like that are written by Michael Jackson, they will benefit people in his life for a long, long time.
But you must remember something that you don't know.
Tell me.
50 years
Mm.
after
Michael
Jackson died,
Mm.
those songs become
public domain.
public domain.
Ah, yes.
So it's not forever.
Yes.
And I don't know why did they choose 50? Why didn't they say 100?
Mm. Oh, why did they say forever?
Yes. Why?
Yeah.
Because bo songs like Bo Handel, Bo Bach, the people started changing and recording these songs, Hallelujah, and all those songs in a different beat and all that.
Yeah.
And then they call the songs their own now. It's no more Bach's.
And yet life carries on. Now
Yes.
they're benefiting from songs they didn't write.
Yes, I mean, if we should get back to the Sala Emma story.
Mm-hmm.
Sala Emma, we were actually looking for a record deal. And they kept on pushing us because we were not doing Mpakanga.
Yes.
So then a certain guy by the name of Mlangeni, who used to be a presenter, go Radio Bantu. Remember, our radio was called Radio Bantu.
Back in those days.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he left the Radio Bantu, the Zulu Radio Bantu, and went to be a talent scout. So first person he thought out was me.
Okay.
So he came to Dube and said to me, "Man, Mlangeni, we're going to record us so." I said, "Good shot."
Now you are part of this group.
Yes, I'm the all-rounders.
Yes, yes.
All-rounders, we were very famous even before we recorded. Because it was all-rounders, Peters.
Hot sticks.
Yes, before. Yes. Then later they became Harare. Then we had the in-laws. We had Flaming Souls. We had Teenage Lovers. We had the Mighty Thorns.
All these English names. It was a different time, eh?
Yes, it was Illuminati. So we recorded. He came to me, then I went to the group and said, Mr. Mlangeni came to me and said he would like to record us. We are all excited. And he was working for RPM.
Okay. I remember seeing the label RPM on records.
Yes. Yes. And then the MD was Mr. Man. He was a Jew.
Okay.
So we signed a contract, not aware that we were signing a 5-year contract.
Meaning what? You should release music
every
year.
Every year, one album.
Okay, so it's a 5-album deal.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we recorded Sala Emma. It was an album called Coming Home.
Okay.
With a few tracks. There was also this. There's a certain genre that they call soul, but it was like monkey jive kind of thing.
Okay.
And so out of this album, we then took out Sala Emma as a single. And then it became big.
Of course.
Very big. So when we went for our royalties, Mr. Men said, "Hey, I'm sorry. Mlangeni had actually these medical terms.
Yeah.
Cancer of the blood.
Okay.
So he died later on.
Oh, no.
So Mr. Mann, when he went for our royalties, he said, go and get your royalties from others behind the grave.
Ah.
He took your royalties.
So
We tried.
he wrote it as his.
This one was lying.
Oh, no.
He took advantage because they were the white guys. You couldn't take them anywhere. We tried to get some lawyers. We didn't have money. And the lawyers then were all whites.
Of course.
So you go to a lawyer, he says, no, I want so much. We can't afford it. So we let everything go.
So you literally just let that song be a hit and continue to be a hit without getting any rights to it.
And we didn't. And thereafter, there's a certain guy, a rich guy from Pretoria, who arranged the Battle of the Bands in Pretoria.
Okay, who are these bands?
All the bands that I've just mentioned to you. And many more. And the first prize was a kumbi.
It's a big show, Mos.
It was packed.
Even today, a kumbi would be a big prize.
Yes. Hey, we hit it. Started singing. Hey, at the end, guess what? Babsy, Mlangeni and the all-rounders got that kumbi.
I wonder, that guy, do you still have it?
So how many years? From 1971? It doesn't exist anymore.
Jeez, you won the kumbi.
Yes.
You guys were superstars.
Nota.
You
know, when they announced that the people got from the grandstand there, they came to the station, they picked me up.
Yes.
I was on their heads right through up until to the kumbi.
But we stayed there.
They put me in the kumbi.
It's yours now.
It's a pity we didn't have any videos then, you know.
Yes.
No kamakala, serious. I was telling Busi this morning things that we went through, you know.
Yes. What a time. But I'm still concerned. Did you ever get the rights to Salah M?
I'm getting royalties from Sambro now.
Okay. So it was.
But the bulk of the money was taken by RPM.
Yes, eh? Wow. But at least it got rectified at some point.
I had to do it myself.
Yeah. Yeah, we see I said it, the criminality that has happened in music. Yes.
It's still happening now.
It is. If one was to dig back and find out some of the songs, there are many, many songs.
Have you heard Zahara complaining?
Yeah, I have.
You see now?
I have. But also it has a lot to do with signing contracts that you don't know what you're signing.
The problem is this. Because after the mistake we made Kasala M, and then we realized that any contract that we sign, we must get someone who is knowledgeable, got the contracts. Yeah. So that person will tell you, omit this clause. Yeah, this one is all right. This one,
it's problematic.
Yes. That's how we started doing things. So we never, ever went in trouble anymore.
Incredible.
You see? So you find it, you see, the thing is, you go around trying to get a deal, up and down, and no one wants to accept you. So when, say, David says, man,
I like
you. I'll give you a deal. You give me a piece of paper to sign. I don't ask questions, David.
You just sign.
Because I'm happy to get a deal.
Eish.
There's problems in paradise.
And that's a common story, eh?
Yes.
Because even you said it, even today's artists, they sign deals, they don't know what they're signing, and they just move on.
But then in the middle of everything, say, yeah, I made a mistake here.
Now that you open your eyes later, now you can see better.
Yes.
Jeez.
But we learned the hard way, unfortunately.
Yeah. You have been in the game for long. It's over 50 odd years now.
To be exact, professionally.
Uh.
It's 57 years.
Whoa, that's a long, long time.
But then when you count from the 63,
when you were still playing
it's 61 years.
When you look back to your career, what moment are you most proud of? Because not only did you compose music for others, for yourself, what is it that stands out when you look at the stuff that you've done?
What comes to mind is that I was able to inspire a lot of disabled musicians across the board. And I feel that I made them to be independent when they were like, they didn't have any direction then. But when I came in, they also tried their luck in music. Some of them made it, like Steve Kekana was one of them.
Yeah.
Lazarus Khahudi. There was another two guys, who's Willie and Paul. I don't know what happened to them, and many others. A lot of them today, who are in music today, they all of them have got a story about me. This and that happened to my life, and then,
Lubaba is the reason.
And another thing that I used to do when I was touring the country, towards the end of the show, I would then announce that any one of you in the audience who have a blind child or a disabled child in any form, please bring the child forward so that I must make arrangement for that kid to go to school. I did that.
Jeez.
So some of the parents brought their children to me. They didn't know that the blind person can be taught.
I see you still carry on today with your foundation. So it's clearly
yes,
the need to help others continues. What drives that about you?
I've been around and I saw a lot of difficulties that these guys are going through. And throughout, there was a friend of mine in Betal. I visited that guy, and he said to me, "Hey man, it's about 7 years, 6, 7." I said, "Let's go." He took me to that house. I spoke to the parents. They said, "Uzafunda kanjani umuntu ongaboni?" Then I said, "Niyangibona mina, angibona ngithi. Niyambona ukuthi nguphi? Khona manje nilalela ingoma zami ngithi. Nami ngaye esikolweni, naye ngifuna ukuthi afane njengami. But sizake sibone." So I took the child, I applied for him. He was accepted. Last year, I got a phone call. Mina ngusibanibani. Ngithole iphone number yakho kusibanibani. Ngilo mntana lo wafika lapha ekhaya. Wazongicela kubazali ukuthi ngiye esikolweni, wangifaka esikolweni. Today I'm working for the municipality of Betal. I'm only phoning to say thank you.
Incredible.
And then next I hope X.
That's the thing about good deeds, because you didn't mark it as someone who call out Takir. You just did it and moved on. Geez, how was your reaction to it? How does that make you feel?
No, I felt very good. And another thing that I used to do, there was this school, Mthatha, which is Ifata. So each time I've got a show, Tabanju, these kids wanted to come and to come to my shows. But I didn't want to, because I had a lot of stampedes.
Yes, of course. You don't want to subject them to that.
Yeah. So because, there are a lot of places where people died.
Sure.
Because of stampedes in our shows, So I wouldn't like them to be there. So what I would do, after the show in the morning, I'll then go to the school. The school is Partamea.
Is that in Free State?
Yes, go to Tabanchu. I then went, I asked the principal to call what you call assembly. So the old kids came out of their classes. The principal told them that Babsy Mlangeni is here. So everybody was excited. They came, they asked to touch me. One by one.
Jeez.
Imagine.
the whole school.
Yeah.
That takes long.
Then thereafter I asked them, I don't want to give your money to your principal or to your teachers. I want to give it to you. But in the form of, what would you like me to buy for you?
Jeez. Okay. What did they say? As a collective, obviously.
Yeah, collective.
Yeah.
So and I said, there, man. Others said, a radiogram. And others said, a piano. Yeah, but no, piano, it's only for the chosen few. But the gram is for us all.
That's true.
So I went to the furniture shop. I don't know which shop. I forgot it. I bought that big one.
Sure.
Cash. Then I said, no. Then I brought it to the school.
Yeah.
I did the same Nefata, Mtata.
That's amazing.
Because I made a mistake by agreeing that they must come to the show. And I put them in the front, the front 2 rows. Yo.
But that's where people come again.
Yo.
Over push.
Hey, the hall was packed. They started pushing them against the stage.
Yeah, it can be a dangerous.
It was terrible.
Yeah, it can be.
So
you have to stop the show in
never
moments
again. I had to stop it. Yes.
Yeah.
We must take this kids out.
Yes.
But I'll never do it again.
At least you learned your lesson there.
I remember once we were at. I was telling Boos about this morning. We're in Tanzania. It's London. The show there in the stadium. It was like a game between Kaizer Chiefs and Pirates. It was packed. So when I got to the stage, they started throwing stones to the ticket, what you call room lapaya. These thugs came in and took all my money.
Because you earned from gate taking.
Yes. They took all the gate takings.
Sure.
I didn't have money to book a hotel. I had to try and get accommodation from the people around there.
Because you had nowhere to sleep.
Wow. Luckily, at least the cars had some petrol for the next show.
Or you could travel to the next one.
Yes. After 3 months, I went back there again. But this time...
What motivated you to go back?
The people. There's this radio announcers and radio presenters. Said, I for the is up for the will organize it properly. Go, man.
Back to the upper band.
Yeah. So it was arranged again. But this time, normally people around to see that nothing goes wrong.
You're better organized.
The security was properly arranged at this time. So there was a song recorded by Jabu, Inyembezi Zam.
Okay.
Ngeke pants. So because everybody was following Babsy Mlangeni and everybody was singing, Kure was trying my tone. So
you became that popular.
Yes, so Jabu, he sounded like me. So people thought that song, it was sung by me. So they said, so that show was packed. There was no problem. I got all my money from that show.
You got to perform.
They thought the song of Jabu Kanyile was mine.
Don't tell me they wanted that song.
They didn't. I had a lot of hits then.
Of course.
one hit after another.
You were celebrated last year by these at the Soweto Theatre by young artists.
Oh, you are celebrated by actually the city of Johannesburg.
How was that experience? Because very often, you hear musicians and people saying, "Hey, we have to give them their flowers while they're still alive," and all of that. What was your experience about that? How did you feel?
I felt I can't describe it, to be honest, David, because it was in another world. Because firstly, I think I told my kids and said, Yazi, I thought my popularity is going down because there's nothing much that I'm doing these days. But that celebration, it proved me wrong. For 2 days it was the 5th and the 7th of August.
Jeez.
Both
it's all about you.
Yes, all about me. I was in the center of everything there. Those youngsters did a very good job.
Oh, do you remember any of them? Who was it? I think
Brian Temba,
yes.
And who's the other one?
Langa Mavuso.
Langa Mavuso was there.
Yeah, I know those two, yeah.
Yes, and then I did Sipho Westix was there.
Okay.
And who's this guitarist? Ntokozo. Ntokozo was the guitarist. Wow. It was well planned, and James Ngcobo was the guy who was actually directing everything there.
Do you feel they captured your music well?
I was really impressed the way they did it. Especially Brian Temba. he was exceptionally good.
Must have been a proud moment for you.
Yeah, it's very proud. In fact, even they came to me and say, "Man, we if there's time, man, we must make some collaborations and all." No, I'm always ready. I don't have a problem. It's just that you guys are too busy these days. Some of them, they call us has-been.
You can't be a has-been. One, you still look so young. And how do you feel? Do you feel as young as you look? Because you're in your 80s now. You just turned 80, what, 81, 82 now recently?
81.
Yes. You may not know this. Let me tell you. You look very young.
Yeah, I tried to look myself in the mirror, but I couldn't see myself.
I'm sure you told this joke before. You couldn't see. Well, let me be the one to tell you. You don't look a day older than 65.
Well. Yeah. I'm sure my kids will take after me.
Let's hope so. And you still make music. You've never stopped.
I won't stop.
Yeah.
If my voice can still take me across, I'll continue.
I know you collaborated with Jonina recently.
Yes, I did.
How did that exercise go?
No, it's all right. It's all right, but it's just that you need some marketing strategies.
That's true.
Yeah, marketing strategies is very important in music.
And what song was it? I'm a huge fan of Joe's touch. There's a special touch that he's got.
Gumnandi, but I've never heard it in any of these radio stations.
Oh, yes.
I don't know whether it's because I say it, but I've never heard it.
Zwakala kunada. Wayitsukunada umnati da. Wayitsukunada umnati da. Dara zozohle da.
I remember I went to Kimberley. They started selling tickets during the day. So they didn't count. They sold a lot of tickets and the wall couldn't accommodate all those people.
Oh, no.
Telling you, David, that was a disaster. The hall was packed. There were more people outside than in the hall, and there was no space in the hall.
And they all had tickets.
Yes.
Sure. How did you manage that?
The guy, Akira had this curtain raisers. When I came in, hell broke loose. Those people from outside were pushing, and then this outside Libonda, they are pushing. Then other people fell. There was a stampede. I think 8 people died on that day.
What a disaster.
Serious, it was a disaster.
You've seen it all, eh? How do you even overcome such things? Because surely a part of you feels slightly responsible.
Yes, I feel responsible, but what can I do? I must just go on. Life must go on.
Yeah.
I will not talk about that.
Nix.
And it didn't happen once. Several times.
Sure. And it's bad organizers, obviously, who don't do their job properly.
No, sometimes we sell the tickets at the gate.
Yeah.
And then those that don't have tickets, they come in by force.
Oh, yeah, that too.
So I remember in Harrismith, it happened. They brought the fence down. They brought the hall down.
Sure.
I was actually banned from
performing in Harrismith.
Yes.
You're a person non grat. You're not allowed to set foot.
In fact, I was called in the morning.
Mm.
The blackjacks came in where I was sleeping. I was sleeping in one of the Mlangeni's houses there. So indoda yafuneka office. Kwenze njani? Hayi, usupresident uyakufuna. When I got there, I don't know how did the people know that I was supposed to go and sit there. There was a guard of honor. Come. I passed those people there. You when I got there, he said, "Man, wat gaan you?" What did they come?
Doen.
Here. Say my hall, my fence is brought down. My hall is being. There's no furniture in that hall anymore. It's all flattened.
Because they were all climbing on it.
That's correct.
Sure.
So, Kekiso, Jemuni very come. I stayed away for a few, I think 2 years. When I went there, he was no more there.
Okay, there's a new superintendent. But how would you currently feel like you've been forgotten? And you said this earlier with the celebration they had at the theater. Because I don't think we will ever forget the music that you've done.
I know, I just feel sometimes that I had my time. In my time, I used to do this and do that. It's all over and done now.
Yeah.
But then again, something happens. I say, no, you are still relevant.
I think you are. You continue. Look at the stories you're telling now. They still apply today. Let me tell you, they speak about the young kids that are blind, that are not looked after, taken to the right schools. The kids that they're able to see, but they don't know how to interact with people that are blind. That's still necessary. And the music you made, the stories you tell, they speak of that in such an important part of the story. And that's why I'm proud to see that your foundation continues to work. What type of work do you do with your foundation?
Hey, there are so many things that I want to do. The only problem sometimes is the financial constraints. We started because I'm running it with my daughter here, and the brother and the Sfiso, and then I went to the Arts and Culture in Pretoria and asked for funding. I came up with an idea of just to inspire and to I get most of these blind people, they sometimes feel that this is the end of the world. There's nothing much they can do. So I came with that concept, Norman. Let me go and lift their spirits up and tell them that, no, man, you can be anything that you want as long you put your mind to it. So we would, of course, I was running this thing with Steve Kekane, being an advocate.
Yes.
And then myself being in the music industry. Steve Kekane will then talk about his experience in law and what have you. Then I'll also come up and tell them how did I start to be a musician, and they can also be a musician, and they can be they can be parliamentarians, they
be
can
anything.
be teachers, they can be just anything, So the principals really liked what we were doing. So unfortunately, the 3 years came to an end. So we must start from scratch
again.
Yes. Now we're thinking of Babsy Mlangeni present.
Okay, what is that?
We want to have a building where it's a skill.
It's an empowerment center.
Yes, so you can say it's an empowerment center. We will have music. We will have everything that a blind person can do.
Wow.
Because you see what really frustrates me. These kids, they go to school. They pass the matric. Then what happens after matric? And mind you, they were using the school's gadgets.
Now they don't have them.
Now they don't have them at home. So you see now, they are taken home to go and rot. That's what's really worrying me. So I'm on top of that, and I want to change this whole setup.
It's possible. I guess it's the right people and presenting to the right people. It's not far-fetched at all, and it could be built so it's an institution that will live forever.
Yeah, it could be a skill center like something. Manje, I don't know. I'll keep on knocking.
That's what I was
till
doing
one day, till one door door opens one day.
I want to go back to a moment. When do you stop being the all-rounder to being a solo artist?
It was in the era of Mr. Man, RPM.
Okay.
When we were fed up with RPM, we wanted our clearance. He refused.
Because you had a 5-year deal.
Correct. So the name All Rounders was now under RPM.
Okay.
So I didn't tell you this. I was also a saxophonist.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So
let's talk about it for a minute. Which instruments did you play? You said you started with the guitar.
Saxophone and trumpet.
Yeah, man.
So when my singing career started showing some improvement financially, I forgot about this too.
You stayed with the singing.
Yeah, with my voice.
Yes.
I don't have to carry anything.
You just rock up.
So I went to a certain guy by the name of Strike Vlagas, who was a talent scout, go through tone. It's another recording company. I recorded a Mpaqanga song, Siabalandel. Later, I left True Tone and I went to RPM as All Rounders.
Okay.
So when Mr. Man refused to give us our clearance, I went to Strike and I used to record here. Where's my contract? He looked into his books and find it.
Okay.
Then he said, let's go. We went to Mr. Man. He came and said, Mr. Man, this is my artist. So Mr. Man could do nothing.
Yes.
So he said, okay, you can take your artist. That's how Babsy Mlangeni was born.
So you left the all-rounders with Mr. Man?
No, we left all-rounders for Mr. Man.
Yes.
And used Babsy Mlangeni to continue.
He stayed with the name.
Yeah, yes.
He stayed with the name, but not the people.
We used Babsy Mlangeni.
Yeah.
The group then became the Babsy Mlangeni throughout.
Who are the members of the group?
When we started, it was myself, Mostau, and Koloi Libona, and his brother, Mickey Libona. And then I had Clive Ngapai. And then the bassist was Peter Sikhwale, the elder brother of Tokyo.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Did the band change people with time?
Obviously.
Yeah.
Obviously, it does all the time. And Tokyo used to go with us to Botswana, used to sometimes to stamp people at the door.
Yeah,
and all that. Pelas to Tokyo Kintoanam. We used to send him to the shop and all that. Now he's a big man.
He's a very big man now.
Mm.
Yeah. Jeez. And now this solo, it looks like it's solo because it's only carrying your name. But you're still with the same guys.
Same band, yes.
Yeah.
Up until the contract was done and cleared.
Yes.
And then it was called Babsy Mlangeni and the All Rounders.
Ah, there you go. So now you can take that name back.
Back, yeah.
Yeah.
So some of the songs, or rather the recordings made under All Rounders. Babsy Mlangeni, some of them was just Babsy Mlangeni playing.
What was so different about, because I had a chat with Black Moses right on that very chair. We're talking about when they introduced the organ to their music, to the music that was made at the time. With your sound, who were the competing bands to what you guys were doing?
Many, I mean, the Peters
were a strong contender.
Yes.
Yeah.
The Peters were always competing with Peters. I mean, even when we went to Pretoria, where we won
for the Kumbi.
Yes, they were there. And the Flaming Souls and what other came on? In-laws, Teenage Lovers.
Was there ever a time when you thought, this is too much, I don't want to do it anymore? Throughout the 57 years?
If I opted not to do anything, if I opted that I don't want to do this thing anymore,
well, you'll sit back and raise the grandkids.
No. I mean, here am I today, I'm 81, but I'm still continuing.
So that moment hasn't happened?
Never. I don't think it would ever. Never crossed my mind.
Yeah, let me slow down.
Yeah, you might say perhaps, let me slow down, but I never had a mind of slowing down. I just wanted to, if I was not recording myself, I was doing it for other people.
Okay.
I was like producing. There was a time when I went to IPCC. I was a member of IPCC Church for quite a while. Almost 30 years.
And making a contribution musically as well.
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
Big time.
Jeez.
So, and that old man, he's so much, I don't know, he loved me so much that he gave me a car, and then he bought 2 combis for me.
Jeez.
And, it was a good time.
Where do you think the music comes from for you in the family? Has anyone told you?
Not exactly. I only know that my malumes, my uncles,
okay,
they were singing Skatamea, Ngoma what is done by Black Mambazo.
Yes.
That is what they were
singing. A cappella.
Yeah, a cappella, yes. And I don't know, I used to laugh at them. I said to them, now why did you stop? Hayi mshana. Besingafuna ukuthi masirekhode laba masesifile amazwi ethu eziwa ngabantu sesifile thina hayi.
It sounds like an excuse.
I said to them, malume hayikhona, that's not the reason. Now mina ngirekhodile, if even noma sengishonile lama ingoma zami sebezidlalwa waya.
Uyabona ngeke stop.
And sabaziphilisa abantwana bami. Lento beniyenza ukube iphilisa abantwana benu right now.
Yes. So that's where it comes from because there's always music, like most things. You know, when there's a talented soccer player, you can always trace it somewhere in the family.
Now, it does come from my uncles. I carry my uncles about Tucson. So my mother is of Tucson. So they used to sing a cappella, Ngoma Busuku, Skatamea.
And the Mlangenis, babuyaphi? Baka Mlangeni.
Mlangeni, they're all over the world. But bona basekhaya direct, baphume eTakakral. Where Takakral is, it's in Mpumalanga these days. It's called Mpumalanga.
Okay.
It's because there's a place called Amersfoort. Between Falkrust and Amersfoort, that's where Takakral is.
That's where you trace them.
Yeah, and they remember when I told you that I took a girl and
That's where you were.
That's where I was.
Yes, so never remember go koko.
Kukoko, yeah, because they were working.
Yes.
So now I became a problem. Because I couldn't stand that.
But you had brothers and sisters.
Yes.
How did they treat you as Mchana?
Those guys were marvelous.
Yeah.
No, they were marvelous. I didn't have a problem with them. And they understood my dilemma.
You call it a dilemma.
Kitari.
Yes. They got you.
Yeah.
Sharp is just Arbun.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sharp, just like bone.
Yeah.
And nekbahlula in some instances, you know.
For example?
When you compare our wives, I'm sorry,
I like that. How are you able to tell? Just help me get this. Seriously, I know maybe I'm politically incorrect, but how are you able to tell? Or I'm sorry, I go Palawa how? Or were you relying on other people to tell you?
Don't worry. I know that Bush's mother was beautiful, I know.
Now I can tell, like about Bush. Okay. I can say, that much I can tell you for sure.
Yeah.
That's it. That's as far as it goes.
But she looks like her mother anyway.
Yes, eh? So no basha 10 nail. But you related really well throughout your upbringing. Kibomang, who are your siblings?
It was actually go high. We were 2.
Okay.
So one of my aunts got sick in the late 40s. So when she died, before she was bedridden, then she called my mom and said, Makoti, nabantwana bathathu.
Abantwana bakhe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm giving you these children kuba mina indlela yami sengiyayibona. So ngicela ukuthi ungikhulisele abantwana. Babe abantwana bakho. That was to be.
Yes. Now you had new brothers.
Yeah, but we didn't even know ukuthi these were not actually our brothers.
What?
We just knew this is our booty, this is our sister, this is our sister, this kanjalo.
Yeah.
We only learned that when we were much older.
Or these are your cousins.
That's correct. Yes.
Yeah.
But otherwise, Runa, this is my sister, this is my brother.
Yeah.
Because the other brother was much older than us, 10 years older than me.
But it means umakoti bebamthatha serious, eh? Because yazi umakoti banokusogola ukungena efamilini kahle kahle. But it seems like your mom was highly regarded.
But I told you in the beginning that they said she brought Mhlolo in the family.
Oh, yeah, Konje.
Mhlolo was me.
Yes, Konje. She had that problem as well. But they still took her serious.
No, it was like it was overcome.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, fell because of my successes.
Yeah. Mhlolo, you're a gift.
Yes. Because I really... Did
you feel pressure to do more just so you can overcome perceptions that people had about you?
To be honest, David, when I became famous, all those things fell away.
Okay. Yeah.
Because now I was like a center of attraction. You know, I would get to, say, Standerton with the group.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps we are on transit to, say, Newcastle.
Yeah.
Then at least I get out of the car, I go into the shop. If I can just be spotted by one person, and now Babsy Mlangeni, I'm telling you, that street will be closed. Everybody would like to come to the car, and it was just, that's why I get it. It was a pity, man. There were no videos and the likes.
In those days, eh? Wow.
It happened many times. Usama punad. Wat gaan nou iso? Maar nee, Babsy Mlangeni, Fizai.
It's another black man to them.
Just another black man.
Yes. But still, prior to the success, there must have been where you had to do more just so to compensate.
To be honest, what really took me from A to Z was Salah M.
That song.
Yes. It brought all the changes in my life and my being, my lifestyle.
Wow.
Yeah, just everything. And remember, I told you that many of these artists, they started following my trend.
Your style.
My style, yes.
Yes.
So it was not, after that, I didn't have a problem anymore. I remember when I was freshly from school, when I try and talk to these ladies, they would run away and laugh at me and all that. But I tell you, after Salah Emma, the very ones who were running away from me, they were the one who came to me
they
again.
They were running towards you
to
now.
Me, yes. And then Nanekwa Swenkela.
Yeah. So you've done that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because there's a song that I translate it into Zulu and Sotho. Yeah. So to show them, because you see, most of my songs, the early songs that I wrote, I was trying to show or to let people know that being blind is not a problem. I'll give you an example, like Alimpona, Pansweri Kalitso, Disikela Makala.
I know that.
Yes. You know that song?
I know that song.
Yes. Now, when I did that song, it opens the people's minds. And then I remember in the early days in Soweto, there were no robots.
Yeah.
So sometimes I'd like to go over to Meadowlands, and there was a main road that I must cross to if I want to go to Meadowlands or vice versa. So I would stand there for a long time. They're even afraid to come and touch me and take me across.
Yeah, because you wait, you can hear the cars are passing.
Yes, but I can't go across because there were no robots. So after a long time, someone will come and help me.
So people relate differently, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah.
So some people thought if they touch you, they are also going to become blind.
Hey, Bana. What nonsense is
you
that?
Know. So we actually were like aliens in the early days.
Yeah. Things have changed, though. Even if it's not necessarily for you.
No, I did that.
Yeah.
I did that by writing these songs. You can send a message, you can talk and preach, but I tell you, when you put a message through a song, it works.
It changes everything.
I mean, even our liberation was done by songs.
Yeah.
So I wrote a song by Mutukio. Helang Mutukio. Yatswareng mulamo musweo. Tswareng kalitsa wali mutuse. Ubatla ya kankani hutsila.
Yes.
That song worked. I had to translate it also into Xhosa.
Jeez.
So each time when they see you standing along the road, they'll then come and when they do, they come singing that song. And they take you across.
That's such a beautiful story. Yeah, because it tells that your music is changing the way people see the world.
That's what I'm trying to say to you.
How many albums have you made? Can you remember?
I don't.
I was sure you were going to give me a number.
There were, say about 35.
35.
But mostly when we started, they used to take a lot of 7 singles out of our albums.
Okay.
So you'll find that each time we release an album, we take out a single. That single becomes a gold disc.
On its own.
Yes.
And then they would release it on a cassette on its own.
Yes.
Or on a LP.
No, 7 single.
Okay. Yeah.
The LP will stay as it is. But this single will then pull the album.
Got you. 100%.
You see?
Yeah.
So a lot of my songs, Bob Tula Makoti, Like Bo Mutukie, Bo Tegeni, Zulu. There's so many songs that I did, and Xhosa songs too. You know, so and the advantage was that I could go and perform anywhere in South Africa because I had Sotho songs, I had Zulu songs, I had Xhosa songs.
Yes.
So we are on tour. When we get to Pietermaritzburg, now we must carry over and go to Transkei, Mzimkhulu.
Yes, yes.
We must rehearse now when we go to Pietermaritzburg.
So you sing what they like.
We changed the program altogether.
I think that's an advantage, but also music tends to help to bridge the languages as well.
Yes.
Where you find that you learn the song because you like the artist and they're singing a song that in a language that you don't get.
Like Mtukudzi.
Exactly. There you go.
I tell you, in the early days, SABC, we were not allowed to mix Zulu and Sotho in one song.
I didn't even know that.
I'm telling you, they used to scratch our songs. I remember one day we recorded an instrumental, Get Ready. They scratched that song because of the title.
What did they think you were saying?
Get ready to do what, you guys? Eh? You're terrorist, man.
You want to overthrow the government. What are you saying?
I wrote a song, Happy Birthday. That song became big. But it was scratched. I had to go to Durban to go and talk to Mr. Lowe, who was the head of Zulu Radio. And I told him that, Bon, in our culture, there's no happy birthday. There's no memulo. This word, happy birthday, aiyo. And then I told them that, Bon, Luna, Afrikaners, there are so many words that you took from English. Why can't we do? No, we're doing the same.
Exactly.
Did
he listen?
Yes, he did eventually.
Yeah.
Then he let the song go.
It was a difficult time to battle through the apartheid.
It was hard for us, I'm telling you, because there was a time that we were not even allowed to share a stage with a white artist.
And how did you eventually navigate that? Because very soon on that chair, I'll be having PJ Powers. And it's about those challenges.
No, in the 80s, everything was started loosening up. There was a time we were not allowed to book any hotel.
Of course.
We were sleeping we were making arrangements with the people of that location.
Because hotels were for whites only.
Yes, that's correct. Up until Holiday Inn were introduced.
Oh, they were part of the change.
Yes.
So Holiday Inn were the first hotels you were allowed to sleep in.
Yeah.
Fans. You speak in a lot of your interviews about the respect for fans and respect for the people who love your music, because without them, there wouldn't be any of this.
Let me tell you, I used to tell artists at Banna, when your fans are happy, or let's say your fans and someone comes to you is happy and is drunk, don't push that person away. Try to accommodate that person for that minute, those 5 minutes. Then he'll be gone being happy and he'll say good things about you. Yes. I even told Steve Kakana one day about that because he got fed up. He said, no, you must never treat these people because these are your people that makes the world to go round for you.
They pay your bills.
That's correct. Wow. So I'll respect. People would ask me sometimes, what I used to do, you won't believe this. If I don't have an idea of a song,
okay,
I'll go to Shabin. And then I'll sit with the guys and buy them some booze. They'll talk and talk and talk. Someone will talk about something that will interest me.
And a song will come from
That's correct. Sometimes I'd go to Mbamba, Shabin.
Yes.
Then I'll go to the makoko. Makoko namapakati namakoko kamanga kati 2. Then I pay the 2. Then I say, Koko, Banig, Dematot.
Utengi round.
Ngintengela amakoko kamabili. Yo. This is batla kita.
And you getting the idea.
Yeah, from the idea. Sometimes I just do it and go out.
Yes.
I just make them feel good.
Yeah.
It's good I'm part of them.
That's true.
So I'll tell people, nah, like some people would ask me, why do you stay in the location? In Katlowong for that matter, in Dube.
Yes.
But no, the people who made me are these very people I'm staying with here.
Yeah.
The people in the suburbs don't even know me. They didn't buy my records. They didn't buy my cassettes. The people who bought are these people here around me.
Yeah.
So I'm going to stay around them. That's what we did, Sipo Sticks and I.
Yes, I know. Yeah, I've been very lucky to have made a very good friendship with Babu Usipo. Doesn't like it when I use Baba. He's a young man. He's a young man.
We can't stay young, Baba. Not right now. I'm everything. I'm daddy. I'm mkhulu. I'm babu mncane, babu mkhulu.
Kunalaba ti bra.
Never what the babs. Babes. So I'm just everything. In fact, right now, Sekili Koko, I don't know what you call it in Sotho or in Pig. But in Zulu, it's Koko.
Wow, you've done well. Quickly, the changes in how music is sold. You've seen it from when it was a cassette to a CD to whatever it is that we're doing now. How has that affected the music and how artists make money from your perspective?
Hey, things have changed a lot. In our days, we used to make a lot of money.
Because you physical CD or cassette.
Yes.
Yeah.
If I sell, I carry a gold disc in this country. 7 singles were 25,000 copies.
Got you. That's gold.
Yes. Then 50, if you would say, is platinum. With vinyls, it was 20,000 copies. Then you've got a gold disc. CDs, it was another 25,000 copies. But now, this new era, there's a problem.
Hey.
There's a problem because now, I remember there was a time when I went into the street. I took a public PA, and someone who then DJ for me.
Okay.
And I would stand then in the mall. People will flock like this.
Obviously, that's a proper busking.
Yes.
Yeah.
Then I'll sell those the CDs for 50.
Okay.
50 rands.
Yeah, because you had copies.
Yes. Now, sometimes Friday I'll make 7,000.
Yeah, just like that.
Then Saturday 10. So I've got 17. Yeah.
Few hours of work.
Just 2 days.
Yes.
Then I roped Steve also. Come. Then we started to Likorumuraba. We did this. A lot of money. So now that the CDs are being faded out, we can't do that anymore. Now there's this iTunes.
It is streaming.
It's streaming, whatever you call them. What say million.
9 million streams a month.
But there's no money.
It doesn't even make sense, does it?
No, not because it seems as if they're making more money with the gigs than royalties.
That's it, yeah. And it used to be the other way around.
To us, Mona, we used to make money. I mean, we used to make money even in our shows because we used to arrange our own shows. I used to perform from Monday to Saturday.
Sure.
Full houses throughout.
Across the country.
Yes.
Times have changed. It's clearly harder for artists now.
And today, to fill a stadium, they must have 20 artists.
You must be the the ANC or EFF. It's not that easy.
But Ronaldo, Steve Kekane, on our own, like Soul Brothers, they used to fill a stadium. Balibang.
Sure.
I used to fill a stadium, Skilimu. Steve Kekane would do that, and Alimu.
Yeah.
But Bana from in the 80s, they started having now, we must have 10 groups of 20 artists to fill a stadium. It was not easy.
So it's gotten harder and harder and harder for artists. What do you think has changed from what you see?
No, this the digital, the problem, I think it came with a lot of problems.
Yeah.
A lot of problems because now we used to make real money. Soul Brothers, Steve Kekane, because we used to make our own shows. These days, there's a something they call 360.
Why is that?
How can I be in music science even true?
What is it like 360?
360 icon, and it doesn't work for me.
Where we get everything of everything.
No. No. Runa, you sign a contract about 10% or about 15%. The deal is done. What you do,
After,
that other side,
it's your business.
It's your business.
Yeah.
So we could make shows anytime, anywhere. Now these days, about 350, you go and make a show in Newcastle or in Durban. If you got 100,000, 20% must go to the company.
Or the other way around. Sometimes you just earn a salary.
You get
a salary every month, and you've done 50 shows in this month, but you get a salary. And a salary you get 20,000 rand. That's what happens now.
You see what I mean?
Times have changed because you've seen this change because you've been in the business for so long.
I've seen it changing slowly but surely.
Yeah, and not for the better.
No.
Who wins?
The economy is still in the white minority. So they win all the time.
Even if they've never had or they don't even understand a word of a Babsy Mlangeni song.
But they are the winners.
Yeah.
Because right now we've got only two major awards with Sony and what?
Who's still in the game now? Because there's been so many changes in the record business.
No, I think there are three majors, if I'm not mistaken. It's Universal and Sony and Gallo. We are doing things ourselves now. And another thing, I'm no more as vigilant as I used to be. Because now, the piano figure, and there's nothing you can do about it.
But it's a different market.
Yes.
Yeah.
But remember, the people that used to listen to our music, they are all pensioners.
So they don't have loose money.
They are born.
Yeah.
They can rather go and buy Milli than to go and buy
a song or stream one of your songs. Or even go to your concert for that matter.
You see now,
there was a time though where they said, "Ay na baba file bakhuluma ngawo." Ngithi impilo injalo. Yes.
So what I'm trying to say, things have changed.
Yeah, a lot.
So the music of today is for the kids of today.
That is true.
And but remember, and the buying power is from 25 to 50. 50, 65 or 60, they are going on pension. Yeah. But what I'm saying is that's why it is from 25 to 50.
Your people they're over the hill.
They're over the hill. They can't afford this thing anymore.
Do you still perform?
Yes, I do.
And is it how often, give or take, a year?
It all depends, because I don't book shows myself. I'm booked by
whoever.
Yeah. Sometimes it's this government.
Okay.
So, but I mostly do this disabled shows. Whenever there's an event of disabled people, I'm called because I'm the only one left now.
Do you still enjoy it?
I very much so. You see, where there are disabled people, that's my home.
And the stage? Do you still enjoy the stage?
Yes, they will say, "Mara, must just go on."
Hey
man, I can't do what I used to do
Like what? Those moves.
Those moves that I used to do, I can't do them anymore. The knees can't carry me anymore.
But you still wish you could.
Yes. But then I present to the people what I could.
That is so true. I think when you look at your career and the music that you've made, do you think that it worked out, this music thing, or that when you were gambling with this idea, it really paid off?
Mar David.
I have to ask you.
Mar David. I told you, from the beginning, I didn't know this thing will work out.
Yeah.
But with God's grace, because you see, God moves in a mysterious ways. He wants us to perform. So he performed these wonders in me. That's why I could change the genre from the old genre to the new one, which was soul music that I introduced in the country. So I actually changed the whole music, direction in this country.
At some point, it was you who were in Arjigeng left, gents.
Correct.
Yeah.
Though I told you, no, it's not even documented. But that is what I did. And it's a known fact.
That's so true.
So I'm just, I also told you that what makes me feel good is that I was able to take Bo Steve Kikan and Bo Lazarus Chachud and every others and put them in my camp, in my kind of, in my music, so that they must carry on and make their lives better.
That is a big achievement.
On the last year, on the 18th of November, there was a show called Weekend, but yeah.
What was it? A weekend special?
Yeah, it was a show. It was what festival? So I was then booked. When I got there were youngsters there. Blind youngsters.
Okay.
I don't know whether you know Tsepo Nkadime.
I know Tsepo.
He was also there.
Okay.
Those guys are incredible. Those guys are just, I want the right word to describe them. Very good musicians, Baba. We even had this guy, Uskwili. He's living with albinism. And another lady also living with albinism, and another lady who's wheelchair bound. But the rest was blind guys. My worry, David, is that they're very good. But then who's going to nurture this talent?
Putting appeal.
And if there's no one coming forth and help them, it's going to end no way. So that's my worry. That's why I told Uri, I hope that I must have a present. So that you must help children like this. They must be. They are only earning this child, and they can't go and record child.
So they will need more help.
That's correct.
And just relying on themselves.
You see, what really worries me, Foot, is that I made it in the dark days of apartheid. Steve Kekana made it in the dark days of apartheid. Yep. Lazarus made it in the dark days of apartheid. There's another guy that I forgot, which Cokes and Cokes of Black Five. He's also blind. This new dispensation, I think that the sky should be the limit for this.
Because times are different. It's dark. The days are no longer dark.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
So why can't they be helped by Mudim?
National Lotteries Fund.
I forget it. Man.
Yes.
You know, I must say this. That our school was quite, it had its own resources.
Well-resourced.
Yes, well-resourced. It had, just the running of the school was one of those things. We were happy. But now, when I was doing this other schools, Nabobusi, going around, I found some other schools not well looked after, exhibits, or they don't get funds. Man, something is wrong. Something must be done. Some of the school are not impressive.
You know, it's quite heartwarming to see that after so many years, your passion, and that relates to developing schools for the blind or schools for those who are disabled, continues to be something that you're passionate about even in your old age.
I would say I'm an activist.
Yes. And
of disabled people.
Yeah.
It's just that I'm aging gracefully now.
No, you are. That's for sure. Not even a doubt.
You see, and I just wonder who can take the baton and run with it. Because when Steve Kakane is gone and Borazalos are gone, I don't know. Another thing, David, is that why can't they just one of them just be at our level?
Yes.
One of these good musicians, why can't they just break the barriers?
The same barrier that was broken by Stevie
us.
Wonder.
Yes.
From, Ray Charles to you guys. Yes.
So why can't they do it, these youngsters?
Because it hasn't happened in a long, long time.
It doesn't happen. It ended when Lazarus came in the scene. Then he made it big.
Yeah.
Other than that, not because Eliana Mosi passed away. That was the end of part one. So, Bona, I feel that the sky is the limit, but I don't know what stopped them from breaking through.
In the light days, not the dark days.
Yeah, the light days, yes. I mean, the new dispensation
comes with its own challenges.
Yes.
Very good point.
That's
why we record this. Somebody's going to be challenged by your statement.
My problem for tonight, there are shows that are being sponsored by the government. Mainly the 31st of March, the 27th of April. I've never, for 30 years, I've never been booked on the Freedom Day. Self.
In this new dispensation?
Yes, I've never been booked. There was Makufa. I was never been booked for Makufi.
It's not around anymore even.
Yes.
Yes.
There are so many events that are sponsored by the government. You won't see one disabled musician there. I once spoke to Pella Jordan when he was the Minister of Arts and Culture. He said to me, no, we are outsourcing this thing. I said, so why don't you make a legislation? When you outsource, tell that person or those people that there should be no event that you don't add one or two disabled musicians.
It doesn't even need a legislation. It's his instruction.
Yeah, bon.
Yes. That's crazy.
But it never changed anything. Even what I told him, it didn't change.
It's still the same now.
It's still the same now. I'm telling you that there are very good musicians, but they are not recognized. They are not given a chance.
Yeah, you see, that finger is pointing at all of us.
They are not given a chance, these poor guys. Mudimunka says sing, only says sing utlogona we pidis. But here, Brad Mudimunkile, that abafa this talent.
Took away the sight,
gave
them
the talent.
Yes.
But no one seems to care.
And if nobody cares, it means the talent goes to waste.
It will go. Who's going to nurture these poor guys? Who's going to nurture their talent?
That's Vil. Real quick. I have to say. I want to talk about Mama Gabus. You don't mind, right?
No, I don't.
Tell me about her.
Well, in the beginning, everything went well. My mother took her like a daughter.
Where did you meet her?
Makeleket.
Go, blab.
On your way to Bloemfontein, there's a place called Winbeck.
Okay.
Kasutuki Makeleket.
Okay.
And I met him through Koloi.
Were you traveling there?
No. It was before I started traveling. It was 1966, 65, 66, something.
Okay.
So then, 67, I had my firstborn. I was working in Banner News agencies as a switchboard operator.
Okay.
Then Temba, my firstborn is Temba. He got sick. They took him to the doctors. The doctor said, "There's next weekend." They took him to Zangoma. Zangoma says, "Hi." He wants his father. So they took it to the Maprofita, the same thing. So they then wrote a letter and said, if you don't fetch this child, you're going to lose him. So I made arrangements and I fetched him. We got home at about 12 o'clock at night. My mother got out of the house and came and took the child into the house and went to the stove. Welcome Tova.
Mm-hmm.
And Kamilor, I don't know what she did. The child didn't go to the doctor. The following day, he was okay.
Yeah, bana. Afunu babak.
Funu babak.
But umama Gabus,
Yeah.
Your relationship with her.
It was wonderful.
Yeah.
As I said, it was wonderful in the beginning.
Mm.
Mm.
And but you're saying it obviously faced its own challenges with time.
Yes, it did face its own challenges, and there was nothing that I could do. What I'm proud about.
Yeah.
Under all difficulties that I went through, I was able to carry my children through.
Mm-hmm.
School, throughout.
Yeah.
And I told them that I don't have money. What I have is education. I'll take you as far as you want. Yeah. But now I'll take you as far as you want to go. That is what exactly that I did.
And I see the involvement is still in your career. It's a very strong one, particularly from Obusi. So this is clearly a family business.
Yes, I want it to be like that. It's a pity that there's no one who can take the bait and run with it in the music industry. So the only child who's doing it now, Ulebo Khang, who is running Babsy, Joe's Entertainment.
Okay.
But
not performing.
No, it's just he's got artists. So if there was someone like if Busu could take the mic and
Busu's real. And just sing one song,
yes,
that's born.
Then they would say, Fuzu Babake.
Yes, ufuna lo Fuzu Babake.
No, it seems as if if they would be in the from the grandchildren.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps someone will come up. I don't know.
It goes back to that word you used earlier, nurturing. Somebody has to spot that talent and then encourage it.
Don't you think I don't? Who can do this? Who can take this? My firstborn. Is his firstborn? She's something. The characteristics is a problem.
Yes,
you see, so but most of them
yes, and what do you do piano? Then you're gonna judge them. Let them do what they want, I guess.
No. I'm not on their way, David. They can do what they want. I'll support them.
Yes.
I'd be very happy if one of Busi's children can say, I'm cool. I want to do this. Then we can go all out.
Yeah, cool. I sing in the studio. Well, we hope, I guess. Busi, what's the challenge in the family? What do they like? What are they about, these kids?
They've got different interests.
Because your talents are so incredible. Your ability to write fascinates me. When you look at yourself, where do you think was your strongest point? The writing or the singing or the performing?
It's the writing.
Yeah.
Because without writing, I wouldn't have been where I am.
It's the writing.
The writing interests my followers. And by writing these songs, I gave a stage, whatever, for other people like Steve Kang to write exactly like I used to. The guy Paranyana, he used to take when I did. Yeah, I think the CTBC was Leroy's song. Yeah.
And took it and converted.
That's correct. Like to take Patchy Sledge songs.
Yes.
and convert, and then he took a song, Lionel Peterson.
Yeah.
And it's as a to most stationing sa Katlaong. Safi class for fun of myself.
I must admit, when I listen to that soul of those days, it blows me away how the American influence was so strong.
Yes, it was.
In the music.
It was.
And during apartheid, it shouldn't have been.
we had no choice, Baba, because Radio Zulu only started 1960. Before then, it was only English and Afrikaans.
Yeah.
And then they would give us 30 minutes of Zulu, of Sotho, every Friday, every Saturday. Just 30 minutes.
That little moment.
It was tough, Nyakjel, but we pulled through.
You did, eh?
That's why I'm still calling to these youngsters. Banna, we made it in the dark days.
With 30 minutes.
Man, do something about this, man. Yeah. And just break those chains, man.
Because the soul in R&B carries through all the way to Blondie and Papa, who carried on with that style of music. And they just never stopped. They just carried on.
The whole thing has been taken by Temba.
Brian Temba and Afro Traction.
Yes.
And Press. And they carrying on with the legacy that you guys started.
Because Brendan, they went on.
Yeah, with that song that Brenda started with, Weekend Special, exactly. Because those songs are slightly slower than the traditional bubble gum of that time.
There's a song that blows me away. Life is going on.
Yes.
Each time I listen to Brenda with that
but it's
song,
up to you and me.
Yeah.
What we gonna do?
The last time.
You came to my show and humiliated me. I will never forget. And it's clear you've never forgotten. I invited you for a friendly meeting. And you turned it into a very violent expression of music.
But it was good, eh?
Yeah, we enjoyed ourselves.
Yeah, so the only thing I can start saying is that what really makes me happy, I feel good towards the end or presently. My kids are around me with what I'm doing.
It's a blessing.
And I just hope and trust that even after my disappearing, they must just look after the legacy. And they must never leave Sambro alone. They must keep on pushing.
Sambro must know that they exist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because for these 50 years, their descendants must also have a share out of the money that will be accumulated from Sambro and other places.
How do you feel physically? You look strong.
Old age is creeping in. I mean, to be honest. As I told you, I can't do what I used to do some years ago.
Yes.
I've got to take it a bit slower. And as long the voice is still strong, people can still hear what I'm saying.
They can still, it's you. It's still you.
Yes. As I told you, good eye. I say where will I end up, but I'll carry on.
I have a feeling you're going to give us 20 more years.
To be 100. I know that I'm fun, but I'm fun.
Yeah, interesting. My mom says that as well. She says exactly those words. But I go to train.
Hayi maybe umgatizolo ikhantshance yakho yime umgezizolo
nami chance yokumgeza ufuna uzigeza. Jeez, man, we truly appreciate it. We have this thing, it's a tradition on the show. I'm going to try it with you. We do a fist bump. So you just bring your fist. I will reach for it. There we go. Done. Thank you so much. It's been an honor. I've enjoyed this chat. And amongst others, I'll always say, I do this to celebrate great South Africans. And I think you're one of those special ones. We were lucky to have you. And you brought up a lot of issues that are going to poke us and make us realize that we're not getting our act together. And one of those is we don't celebrate a lot of the, just give a chance to those that are disabled and they have the talent. We do little with them. And that I heard you. And I hope others will hear you too. I appreciate that.
I really hope so.
Yeah, thank you very much.
As I told you, my problem, Jay, is I can see more. It's disability it's more recognized by the powers that be. As it is now,
it's not.
Not at all. How about get a matric? They just go home and rot. And another thing, if you become blind when only 15, you've got 3 years to be at Moscow. How about 18 about you go back home? Ahuna abet.
Yes, eh?
Yeah.
Why do they regard you as too old? Because you can learn.
No, but there's an abet
Yes.
There's an abet who sighted people. Why is there no abet with the blind people?
Sure. I didn't even know that.
I'm telling you.
Because this poor child probably can't read Braille yet.
So these 3 years, I can't tutor Braille. There was a lady. She became blind when she was 32. She was a teacher. She stays with me, So someone told her that I put Babsy somewhere. They brought it to me. She was so disappointed to be blind.
Sure.
I said to her, listen, being blind is not a problem. The problem is you.
Yeah.
You must accept that you are blind and make the best out of it. You go Ruta Braille. And they started teaching a Braille. It was difficult. How stiff.
Yes, because yes.
I'm telling you today, when she talks about me. She's a teacher today.
What?
She's got an assistant. She's a teacher more high school. So I told her, no, don't back down. Keep your head high.
Yes.
And show the world what meat are you made of.
And look at her now.
You see now?
Incredible.
There was another one who was just staying next to me. She was crying every day. She just became blind. And she was taking Disprin. So they told me about her. So I went there. Said, no, so come here. Bamulata sat next to me. I said, uyandazim na? Hayi. Wakweva ngobabsi Mlangeni. Ewe. Ndim lo. Ndim ubabsi Mlangeni. Now, ngifuna ukukutshela. Ndiva ukuthi uyalela ufuna ukubona. Listen. I'll take you tomorrow. I'll take you one of these days to St. John's. Isibhedlela samehlo. And bazakutshela ukuthi there is a possibility of seeing again or not. So I took her with my car, went there. They put her through the machines and all over, made different tests. She came back to me and said, this is a permanent thing, blindness. All you can do, I'm going to give you a form that she must go and get pension, disability grant. So I told her. She didn't believe me. She still went to Bomporo. They went to all these different churches. It happened to say, I told you. Mina ngiphila kamnandi angisanandaba akusabatla ubona David na.
Kabahle.
Even a ka fitla doctor e tswang Nigeria, kapa America, kapa China.
I found a solution.
Sorry, I'm right.
You don't.
I've accepted.
You don't want to see.
Mm-mm.
Hey, man. Why is that? Why do you say you're sharp?
I don't want anything that's going to change my life.
Mm.
I'm right. I'm very happy as I am. And I've accepted it. My kids, I brought my kids up being like this. So, but like, change usually at this age. I'll never. Okay, right.
Don't worry, you're missing nothing.
I'm missing nothing.
You're missing absolutely nothing. It's all a mess. Wow.
Yeah, now I'm comfortable where I'm in my space.
Mm. You've done well. For me, I think your stories highlights are the people whose lives you've changed, and it's the individuals. It's these one-on-ones that puts a smile on my face. It encourages all of us to probably try and see where we can make a contribution. So thank you very much, Tate Mlangeni. Usinganga in my world.
Kisinganga.
Kupidori waro des.
With this. Yeah, but with this.
Ah, des.
Steve Lonarata ure. Ha kisinganga.
And thank you for making time, and thank you to the family for agreeing, for Bubusi to saying it's fine. Let's come and do this, because I had made an inquiry. So yours, we will keep your story safe in our hands, and we're glad that you managed to come through. Thank you very much.
Okay.
I saw you checking your time.
Check how many minutes did we?
You want to know?
Yeah.
I can tell you almost to the last
Yeah.
minute. 2 hours 57. 2 hours 57 minutes.
Now you're joking.
I'm not.
But I can see my watch here.
Yes. Just
Time flies, eh?
It does.
King David Studio Podcast.